Hello friends, welcome back to your UPSC. Today we will start with a new concept in human geography, that is migration. So let's get started. So, migration. Migration is basically it is a permanent or semi-permanent change in residence of an individual or a group of people over a significant distance. Okay, so permanent and semi-permanent. Okay, so it is not like we are going for holidays for like a week or two. Okay, so this is not known as migration. So migration at least needs a sufficient time, like a year, more than a year. Okay, so it should be either semi-permanent, like a considerable amount of time of your life should be spent in a other residence where you are migrating. Okay, so it is permanent or semi-permanent change in residence. Okay, so there we have change in residence. Okay, so we are residing or we are just like residing in other place. Okay, so our economic activities, our housing, our other things, everything will be in the other place where we are going. Okay, so there is change in residence. So it is permanent and or semi-permanent. There is change in residence. Now migration can be of both the individual as well as group of people. Either an individual can migrate or group of people can migrate in the masses. Okay, over a significant distance. Now it is not like I am residing in this colony. Now this is my colony. Okay, in this colony. Now I have shifted my location to the third lane. Now this is not known as migration. In migration you need or you require a sufficient distance or a significant distance. Okay, where like you can say there is some certain changes in culture or social. Okay, there is certain change in society or cultural setup, there is some change in language or other thing. Okay, so this distance should be significant. Now what are the causes of migration? Okay, see, since time immortal a human has migrated from one place to another. Okay, so initially it was migrating from one place to another in search of food. Then it started migrating from one place to another in search of food and shelter. Okay, now the migration of a person from one place to another is because of various reasons. So some of the reasons we are going to study. First is technological reason. Okay, now see, people, they always try to migrate from less technological region to more technological region. This is a basic tendency of a person. Okay, so from this region, like from villages, people try to migrate in urban regions. One of the reason is technology. Okay, so because of higher technology, because of access to higher technology, the people, they tend to migrate the higher technological region. Okay, so that they will have better access to technology, they will have better access to development, they will have more employment facilities, opportunities. Okay, now there is another case as well. Now here the people are migrating from more developed region to underdeveloped region. Okay, so this migration is because of access to resources in this region. Okay, like for example, during the time of industrialization, we can say the European countries, people from European countries, they migrated towards USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Okay, and other areas as well as like Africa, etc. So why they migrated to these regions when Europe was more developed? See, these regions, they were or we can say very underpopulated regions. The resources here were huge. Okay, so because of huge resources, there was very great chances for the economic development. of these regions. Okay, so that is why the people from Europe, which was quite highly developed, so from here to this place, these people, they moved. Okay, they were mainly industrialists, workers, etc. They moved because here the land was not sufficient. Okay, so these areas were overpopulated. So from overpopulated areas, they moved towards underpopulated areas, and they got access to these resources that were available in these regions. Okay, so this is our technological cause. Next is our economic cause. Now, the prime motive of immigration in today's scenario is seen as economy. Okay, so man, it requires land, or we can say it requires some sort of economic activities for its survival. Okay, so economic cause is now one of the major cause. Okay, so people, they migrate from village to urban areas so that they can get better job opportunities, and the people, they migrate from urban areas like cities to other foreign countries so that they can get more job opportunities according to their classification, or they can get high paid jobs. Okay, so the payment or the salary that they are getting here, the salary that they will get here will be much higher than the salary that they are getting here. Okay, so these are some of the economic causes. For example, you can say many of the people from developing countries like China, India, so the youth, educated youth from these developing countries, they migrate towards these developed countries like USA, UK, etc. Why? Because of economic cause. Next, as we can see, during the time of industrialization, these Europeans, they migrated towards various new countries. Another reason of this was these area had virgin lands. Okay, so these fellow virgin lands, they gave great agricultural opportunities to these people. Okay, so here they were not having a piece of land to reside, while here they were having acres of land. Okay, acres of land with huge amount of resources. So people, they migrated, they were attracted towards these lands, and they migrated from Europe to USA to avail this opportunity. Okay, next is overpopulation. Now, overpopulation in terms of resources. Okay, first we will talk in terms of resources. See, the resource available in certain region, for example, let's take again the example of Europe. During the time of industrialization, Europe was a developed country, but the resource available were not able to satisfy the needs of all the population or whole of the population of Europe. Okay, so the people here, they started migrating towards these new countries so that they have sufficient amount of resources to which they can get access. Next is overpopulation, some of the crowded areas. Okay, from some of the crowded areas, people, they start migrating, or they tend to migrate towards less populated regions. Okay, so like from very highly populated regions like UP, Bihar, etc. People, they migrate towards Gujarat, Rajasthan for job opportunities. Okay, because these areas, they are much less concentrated or much less populated as compared to these regions, because these regions, they come in the northern plain area, and as I've already discussed with you in the previous lectures, that the northern plain area is a highly populated area. Okay, because it is having river basin here, and this is a plain area which is best suited for agriculture. Okay, so overpopulation. Next is social or religious cause. See, social factors, they lead to large scale immigration of people. Okay, like for example, let's take the example of Germany. Now, Germany, during the time of World War, it was dominated, during the time of Hitler, it was dominated by Nazis. Okay, So these Nazis, they were most hostile to Jews. Okay, so these Jews, they migrated from Germany towards other areas or to other countries. Okay, so this was migration of Jews. This was a social cause. Now there are other social causes, like we have during the partition, during India Pakistan partition, various Muslims from India, they migrated towards Pakistan, while various Hindus from Pakistan, they migrated in India, or we can say various non-Muslims. Okay, there were 6 also who migrated towards India. Okay, they migrated in India. So these are the social causes. Now along with it, there are some religious causes as well. See, first there is, for example, we can take Makkah, Medina. So Muslims from different areas or different countries, they migrate to Makkah, Medina. Okay, now because it is a very long distance, so many of the people, they stay there. Okay, or they just decide to spend rest of their life in this holy place. So this Makkah, Medina is a pilgrimage for Muslims. Okay, so this is a religious cause. Now next we can see the Pushkar. In the Pushkar fair, many people come and they reside or they permanently settle down in this region. Now during, we can say during fairs, or we can say during Kumbh Mela, etc., we see various people, they migrate towards these religious cities. Okay, now people, they get attracted towards these cities and they settle permanently in these regions. So this is also a religious cause. Next is our political cause. Now political cause, we have seen various refugees from different countries moving towards different areas. Like presently we can take the case of Rohingyas. Okay, so these Rohingyas from Myanmar, they are migrating towards other countries. Okay, why? Because of the political cause, because the government there, they are not accepting these Rohingyas as their population. That is why these Rohingya population, they are moving from this country Myanmar to other countries. They are coming to Bangladesh, India as well. Okay, so this is a political cause. So in the political cause, these people, they are forced to move out. Okay, so there are numerous political migration in different countries because of different reasons. Some of the oppressed classes, or we can say some of the oppressed sections, they are forced to move out of the countries. Like we have Tamils in Sri Lanka, they are forced to move out of the of Sri Lanka. Okay, because they are not considered as the, or they are not considered as a native of Sri Lanka. Okay, so this is our political cause. Next we have is demographic cause. Now there are various demographic causes that play a vital role in the migration. For example, like we have various causes, like people from overpopulated country or from developed countries, they migrate towards the countries which are having more resources, which are having more opportunities, more economic opportunities, less population. Okay, so these are the demographic causes. Like for example, European countries were the one who moved towards other countries for the sake of resources. Okay, and like we have various people from Bihar, UP, Odisha, West Bengal, they move towards other areas for the sake of, or because their native areas, they are overpopulated. Now next is diffusion of information. Now diffusion of information, here we have availability of information through education, cultural contact, and spatial integration. Okay, so they also increase the chances of population migration. Okay, so here we will see that because of diffusion of information, like I'm saying there is a place that is X island. It is very beautiful island. Okay, it is a very beautiful island, and it is having every type of resources, from oil, petroleum, gas to food, availability of food. We have various industries that are set up here. This is highly developed and having huge resources. Okay, it is quite clean. Okay, and it is having no pollution, etc. So this is this island. Okay, now if a person, like I am a person, someone told me about this X island, now I will imagine about this island, and I will try my best to have access to this island, and I will try to move to this island. Okay, now when I reach this island, I find that all these facilities are available, and these facilities were not available in my native land. Okay, so because of high technology and other things, okay, now because I am attracted towards this area, that is why I will migrate towards this area. Okay, migrate to this land. Okay, so this is diffusion of information. Like for example, we can say that when America was discovered, people that who visited this America, they told that this land is having high opportunity, high resources. Okay, so it is having high opportunity for development. That is why many Europeans, they were attracted towards this land, and they moved towards this land, and many of the people, they migrated in America, and they permanently settled down in America. So this was due to diffusion of information. Then general rise in the level of aspiration. See, in villages, when the people, they get educated, they are told about, we can just take diffusion of information as also as one of the point in this one. Okay, so when they are told about like how the urban cities are, how they function, how the whole lifestyle of this urban city is, then the general rise, there will be a general rise in the aspiration of people in the villages. Okay, so now some of the people will be like, okay, I will try to develop my village so that it is in competence or it is equal to this urban city, while other will be like, I want to visit this land as quick as possible, or I want to stay in this land. Okay, okay, so these people who are being aspired to move, they will migrate towards the urban area and they will settle down. So this general rise in aspiration is also one of the cause. Next we have is wars. Wars, as we have already discussed in the political region and social region, wars are one of the most important cause of human migration. Like in First World War, we can see there was displacement of like millions of people from one area to another. In Second World War also there was like dispersion or displacement of like more than like 10 times of the people from one place to another. Okay, now to avoid the political conflict and to avoid war, these people were forced to move towards other area, or they were forced to take refuge in the isolated land or safe land. Okay, so these are the causes wars. Lastly, we have government policies. Now, government policies of a particular countries, they can be both favorable and they can also adversely affect the pattern of population of migration. Like for example, we can say that when Europe was overpopulated during the time of industrialization, Europeans, they, because they had captured USA, okay, they had captured North America, sorry. So they gave the opportunity to people that if you migrate to North America, then you will get, or you will have huge amount of land, arable land, which will be made available to you. Okay, there will be acres of land that will be available to you. So this population, this policy, government policy, it made, or it provided people, or it made people get attracted towards this new land. Next is, we can see various examples. Like for example, here we have a country which is where the government, it is encouraging foreign investment, and it is encouraging the foreign industries and foreign companies to settle down here, or to start their new startups in this area, okay, or in this region. So, and this will be free of cost, and the people or the government will support them to set up these industries. Okay, so now the people, they will get attracted, or the industrialists, they will get attracted towards this land, and they will migrate to this areas. Okay, now because they are having more economic opportunities, they are having more job opportunities, workers will move into this area. Okay, so this is where the government policies, they can both adversely and both favorably affect the migration of population. Okay, so in this area we have favorable conditions, while in other areas we can say, like in Germany, the government's policy was anti-Jewish policy. Okay, so it was adversely affecting the Jewish population. Okay, so that is why it was adversely affecting the population, and therefore the people, or the Jews population, it migrated out of Germany. Okay, so these are the causes of migration. Now we will look into consequences of migration. Now consequences of migration, they affect, or the migration, it affect both the area of origin, or the place of origin, and the place of migration. Okay, now in the place of origin, we can see that the individual or a family that migrate, they go through quantitative and qualitative changes. Okay, like for example, there will be change in culture, there will be change in like cultural setup, social setup, language, maybe language, and other things. Okay, so first consequence of migration from the place of origin is there will be reallocation of human resources, because the human resources, they are moving out from this region towards other area. That is why the human resource will decrease in this region. Next is there will be better balance between human and physical resource. See, if this area or this place of origin is an overpopulated area, then if the people, they migrate from this area to other area, then the population will decrease, hence the resource will be in better, or will be better optimum, or will be optimum for the remaining human resources that are available. Okay, next is the absolute number of population, that is density, growth, fertility, etc., gets transformed. Okay, so all these indexes like density of population, population growth, growth rate, death rate, birth rate, etc., everything, these absolute numbers will get transformed because of migration of people from this area. Next is there is destination. Okay, where the people are reaching after migration. First, there will be increase in population density. Okay, now after increase in population density, there will be increase on the pressure, or increase in the pressure on the natural resources. Okay, so these natural resources will have more population to serve. Okay, next is there will be improvement in the literacy rate and quality of life of people. See, sometimes what happens, from urban areas, like we have like India, from here people are migrating to less developed areas or less developed countries. Okay, so now from here, this educated men which is migrating from here to here, it will take its education along with him, quality of life, okay, living standard, etc. Everything it will take along with it. Now people living in this area, after being influenced by this man, they will change their lifestyle. They will have more quality life. They will have more hygienic and healthy life. They will have more education. Okay, so it will improve the literacy rate and quantity or quality of life of the people. Now, in both the regions, the immigrants affect the society, demography, culture, and economy. Okay, so the society, demography, see the, like from India, if a person is going, it will be having indigenous culture. Now it is, if it is moving from this area to this area, it will give or it will have interaction with the people residing here. So there will be sharing of cultural informations. Okay, so this person will influence this person's culture, while this person will influence this person's culture. Okay, so economy, demography, society, they will all be affected by migration. Next is problem of adaptation. See, when people they migrate towards other countries or other areas, their lifestyle changes, their food habits, they are different, their clothing habits are different, climatic conditions are different. Okay, like if I am residing in North India, okay, and I move to South India, okay, so here we have considerably less humid area. Okay, this is less humid area with more higher temperature. We have varied climatic conditions. Okay, now clothing habits are also different, food habits are also different, culture is also different. Now I will migrate to South India. Now initially I will not be able to adjust in South India. Why? Because food habit here are different, climatic condition, because humidity is very high. Okay, now seasons, if we say, here we have winter season, okay, summer season, but here summers and winter they are all moderate. Okay, so because of this there is problem in adaptation. Okay, now next is various diseases are caused and spread. Like if a person is moving from here to here, it is having certain type of disease. Okay, communicable disease. So when it is migrating from this region to this region, it will carry its disease along with him. Okay, so because the disease is carried along with him, this disease being communicable, it will spread in the other people of this region. Okay, now likewise, if the person, healthy person, is moving to this area and this area is suffering or it is being affected by an epidemic, then this person will also get affected by the epidemic. Now we have already studied there will be exchange of languages, culture, religion and values, etc. Then there will be change in habits. See, like Indian food, let's take the case of Indian food. Indian food, because various Indians they have migrated to these developed countries like USA. So Indian food is quite famous in USA. Okay, so this is our cultural influence on USA. While these junk foods of USA, they are quite famous in India, like pizza, cheeseburger, etc. So all these things they are quite famous in India. So this is our cultural interaction with the other countries, and this is because of migration. So this was about migration. So that was all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Let's meet in our next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day. Thank you.